Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing a review on my ThinkPad E14. I've been using it for the past 6 months extensively. So without any further ado, let's get into the review. Okay, first up, the design and the build quality. Design, again, it's the classic boxy industrial design with the complete black housing. Built like a tank for this budget. You really can't get a laptop which is quite solid enough in Windows, especially if you're that person who's like, I don't want to baby my laptop, I use it rough. I'm not a single-handed person. The laptop is like I use it, my brother uses, my sister, my dad. This laptop is built in such a way that it can take hell of beatings. I guess the E series in the ThinkPad is also certified by MilSpec. That's the military grade certification which they give for electronic devices. I really appreciate Lenovo for making that move. Tech specs of my particular unit, and by the way, you can customize it to hundreds of options. Now I got this one as a pre-configured variant from a local Lenovo store near my house. The spec is, it's a dual core 10th gen Core i3. 10th gen, I know a lot of people would just get turned off by saying, hey, come on,
you could have gone for something like Ryzen. Why to go for the
10th gen? That was the only option I was available for. We were really in need for a laptop, so that's why I just went for this. Clocked at 2.1 gigahertz. This is an 8 gig RAM variant. I got it with 4 gig as the initial shipping, but later then I asked them to upgrade because 8 GB in 2020 is the minimum for Windows laptop for a hassle-free multitasking, hassle-free basic multitasking. That's what I could mean, basic. 4 gigs, maybe it might work for Chromebooks in 2020, I'm not sure, or for Linux laptops. But this one, since it's pre-configured with Windows 10 Home Single Language, I had to go for 8 GB of RAM because 4 GB felt too sluggish. I had it for a day with 4 GB, then I went to the store right the next day and asked them to change it. Come on bro, just change it as soon as possible. Get the cash, get it changed. I just wanted better. It gets an integrated GPU, unfortunately. You can get it with a dedicated GPU of AMD Radeon, so that's what you call it now. RX 640 or 540, not sure. Comment down below. 2 GB of GDDR5 graphic card. If you're going with something like Core i5 and i7, again, you can configure it. You can go all the way till 16 GB of RAM. And yes, talking about the RAM slot, sort of a bottleneck because this board on the E14 for some reason just gets only a single SODIMM slot. I guess there's also a Ryzen variant on this which gets double DIMM slots. If you want to go for 8 or 16, just take the 4 or 8 slot in the 16 and that stick which had come out turns out to be a waste. Or maybe you can keep it as a spare in case the RAM which is inside fails. And talking of the storage, it gets typical 1TB 5400 RPM mechanical hard drive. You can go for NVMe M.2 SSDs up to 512 GB. I guess SSDs can be retrofitted on this, and I really didn't feel a need for an SSD since I was locked on a budget. Yeah, the hard drive is just getting my daily tasks done. The 8 GB RAM and coupled with the dual core 2.1 GHz i3, it's just good for the basic tasks. MS Office, Zoom calls, YouTube, Netflix, a few Chrome tabs. Of course, you can try short burst intensive tasking like gaming, video editing with not much of effects because you can check the older video in my channel. I'll just leave a link below. It's a retro vlog on the Cyclone Niver that was edited on this ThinkPad because it's a retro vlog. It really don't have much of effects, just few texts here and there and few filters, so it just got me the job done. Render speeds were quite quick. For intensive tasks, it's completely short burst, take my words. But otherwise, for basic tasks, if you're quite conscious for the next few years, I need a laptop for the basic stuff, you can close your eyes and go for this when it comes to performance. Well, this is a 14-inch footprint. Being a 14-inch footprint, of course, it also goes saying with a keyboard in business on a number pad. Well, I really haven't missed the number pad. I use the normal numero keys which are on the top. But if you're that person who frequently uses it for like Excel calculation and stuff, like having your hand locked to a single corner, maybe you might feel the hick of not having the number pad. 14-inch, it almost fits in almost all bags, because these days 15.6 inches the standard size, sort of. I feel it sometimes big, sometimes perfect. 13-inch, it feels kind of way too small for me for the most of the times. So 14, the perfect fit for me. And the display also, you can customize it in two variants. This is a TN panel, I guess, because the display is like fine, of 220 nits of brightness. You can go with the IPS panel of 250 nits of brightness. I haven't really used it outdoors much. If you're that person like me, completely indoors, TN panel will be completely okay for you. The bezels are also quite thin on this. The display thickness is also fine. There is very less lid flex, and the hinge also feels quite solid, except for the bezel on the bottom, which is thick. Literally thick. Maybe they have used it for embarking their Lenovo logo, saying that yes, it is a Lenovo laptop. Please don't mistake it to be as an IBM. Come on. Keyboard. Man, I don't know where to start from. Such a wonderful keyboard, the travel, the tactility. I'm a computer major student, by the way, who use it for coding. How to coin words, which is something which is higher than what you call as great, best, excellent, fabulous. No words, man. Such a great keyboard. Now I understand why Lenovo is the leader when it comes to keyboards on laptops. The only con which I face with this unit, it's not a con, sort of a trade-off maybe, the lack of backlit. I wish I could have customized it, but I was running out of time and I was really in need of a machine at that time. So that's why I was like, okay, fine. Without backlit, still I'm fine with it. Okay, the trackpad is quite decent. Most gestures are being detected accurately, and thanks to this integrated buttons on this, man, I mostly use these buttons to click, but the placement of the buttons sort of feel weird. Yeah, that also goes by saying the placement of function and the control, it's sort of flipped. It took me time to get used to, and sometimes if I switch to my dad's HP laptop which he's having, even there I sort of struggle, but it's of just getting used to, man. It is a force touch trackpad. It's not like the buttons are the only way to click and run right click. I prefer using the buttons since they're available. I really don't want to mess up with the longevity of the force touch, because these force touch trackpads on Windows, if you're sort of using it in a rougher manner, I kind of use it rougher. I was quite skeptical about the life of the trackpad, but thankfully these buttons are making my job a lot easier. Now, going with the buttons, you also get that hallmark track point, that red nipple thing between the G, H and B keys. Something red from the entire black housing stands out. Well, talking of its utility, nothing much. It can be maybe used for scrolling, maybe for highlighting text. But again, if you're that person who uses external mouse, you don't even touch the trackpad, then for what the hell will you go even for the track point? Well, keyboard, I would just give 6 out of 5. That's how I love it. Trackpad, 4.5 out of 5. Talking of the other nifty cool features, the power button is thankfully integrated out of the keyboard, unlike some machines which have their power button integrated within the layout. Sometimes we would be scared of not accidentally hitting the power button. Of course, nothing happens, but it's sort of a headache. So completely out of the place power button, and with a built-in fingerprint, feels quite useful. The camera on the top gets a shutter which is called as a thin shutter, which has a film which comes before the camera lens if you're turning it the other side, and thereby you don't feel that you're not getting tracked by any third party. Not an essential feature, but it's good to have one. Some models of ThinkPad also blocks the camera along with the mic. Maybe that's the topper end variants, but for this one only the camera gets blocked, the mic would be still active. You might have to just go and click the function F4 to even deactivate the mic. And of course, how can you forget this, man? This red pointed eye glowing. Such a nice attention to detailing even on a budget laptop. So nice of you, Lenovo. It also gets a USB Type-C for charging. Really interesting, man. Of course, talking of the ports, it gets a USB Type-C for charging. I think it can even connect devices. I'm not sure. It's only a Type-C, not a Thunderbolt, by the way. It gets 2 USB-A's. One is what they call it as supercharged. If you enable that feature in the BIOS for that particular port, even if your laptop is turned off, from the energy which is present in the battery, If you connect your mobile or any other device for charging, despite your laptop is turned off, the power would be still going and your device will be charging. So it's a good feature to have on. You have a standard HDMI headphone cum mic jack on the left side, and for the right side you get a Kensington lock slot, and you get of course the standard LAN port. You also get one more USB Type A. So overall the ports, it's decent for this price range. When it comes to the real world usage of timing, I get around 5 to 5.5 hours of normal usage on brightness with continuous Wi-Fi connection using Zoom, Excel, and sometimes I even use for video editing at times, listening to Spotify, Netflix, and just the basic stuff. So it just gets me the job done for like 5.5 hours. And for charging, I get a 65 watt charging brick, which is quite light and easy to carry around places. That's what you need on a laptop. Portability is quite essential. So would I recommend this laptop? It's not about E14, it's not about the E series rather. You can go for whatever ThinkPad laptops you want. If you have the budget, you can go for even for the X series or maybe even the P series, the top end mobile workstations. The E, for its price range, it is justifying everything whatever it can than what not the P series can do. I would highly recommend, if you're looking for a business class, a simple yet elegant yet powerful potential. I could just keep describing the laptop, how good it is. Very few things which I don't like on this: the weird placement of buttons, the weird placement of keys, and they could have added a little bit of ports, but it's fine. And yes, of course, the RAM slot, they could have given the double the slot, but for some reason they have done this. But anyways, experience has been really good for me. Yeah, I hope you liked this review. Liked it, give it a thumbs up. Please do share this video and subscribe to my channel if you're interested in tuning more content in my channel. That's it for now. This is Sai Ram signing off. Bye bye.